Hello Aquarius and welcome. So in this video we will explore 2026 using tarot cards through the 12 astrological houses. This reading focuses on the big picture energies for the year, highlighting which areas of your life may be active or in transition, rather than predicting specific dates or months. Okay, we are going to start with an overall theme card to set the spiritual tone, and then we are going to deep dive into each of the houses to see what guidance the cards offer. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and let this reading inspire some clarity and focus and heart-centered action in 2026. All right, let's start. So, an overall theme card for Aquarius. And we have Aurora of Gamma, number 27. Okay, everything is falling around here. And quite interesting because this card came while I was just shuffling the deck even before recording. I was just doing it for myself. And this is a very interesting oracle card. And I'm gonna first take the tarot cards and then we are going to deep dive into it. Because yeah, it's all about leaving behind what no longer fits your life or where you're going. It's about crossing the threshold. It's about moving forward to a whole other level, spiritually speaking. It's about trusting that good things are imminent. I will read it to you after. Let's get the tarot. So for the first house for Aquarius in 2026, major themes. Okay, we have the Five of Wands reversed, second house. A lot of cards falling. Second house for Aquarius in 2026. We have the Devil. Do you want to come which way? Okay, the Devil. And we also got the Two of Swords. These two are not showing, so I'll not take them. Otherwise, it's too many cards. I'll take a maximum of 3 cards per house. We go now to the third house, please. Queen of Pentacles, fourth house. The Hierophant, fifth house. The Knight of Pentacles, sixth house. The Eight of Wands, seventh house. We have the Moon and which way you wanna come? Oh. Up. The King of Pentacles. The eighth house. we have the Magician and the Emperor. Ninth house. Ninth house for 2026 Aquarius. Eight of Cups. Well, so far, Eight of Cups has come out to Sagittarius and Capricorn, which are the readings I've recorded thus far, always in different houses. 10th house for 2026 Aquarius. 10th house energy. Hola, this is a lot. Page of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Okay. 11th house. House. The Chariot reversed, the Sun and the Lovers reversed. Okay. And lastly, for 12th house, the Six of Cups. Oh. So before pointing out a few things and before deep diving into each house, I just want to take some time to read you just the first paragraph of the Oracle of Aurora of Gamma, number 27. And so it says, "It is time to let go of what has been. You are swiftly outgrowing your past. Explore and commit to a spiritual practice that supports your personal transformation so that you can cross the threshold before you now. Embrace your freedom to be creative in your approach rather than doggedly committing yourself to your previous ideas or plans. You have the spiritual intelligence necessary to evolve. Continue your healing journey with trust that a positive outcome is imminent." And then it adds, Aurora of Gamma indicates a shift into a new cycle, but also the growing presence of the light within, which is the creative light of spirit. Tuning into that light opens up options for living soulfully, away from the grip of ignorance, no longer constantly ensnared by the compelling but ultimately fraudulent conjurations of ego. Her new era is an inner transformation with positive external consequences. Trust in what your inner light is manifesting in your heart and in our world. And I think it's so powerful. I really like this card. And so now I just want to point our attention to a few things, which is you do have a few major arcana cards on the spread, and somehow they fell in clusters, right? We have it on the 8th house with the Magician and the Emperor, which brings major life themes around shared resources, transformation, power, manifestation. And on the 11th house, where we have the Chariot reversed, the Lovers reversed, and the Sun. And this touches themes such as friendship, aspirations, social identity, community, right? So I think there's an intense focus, or almost a karmic lesson perhaps for some of you, in these areas of your life. This is highlighting a deep transformation when it comes to shared resources and intimacy, and the major shifts of learning in social networks and long-term goals, basically. And the other major arcana card we have is the Devil on your 2nd house, which speaks about finances, values, self-worth. And the Devil here points to patterns of attachment, material or emotional limitations, or unhealthy attachments, right? dependencies. And this can connect energetically to the 8th house and to the 11th house, because issues of control, attachment, restriction in personal resources can ripple into shared finances, right? Into partnerships, into collective projects and social connections. They may reflect or challenge these same patterns, revealing where we are still bound by expectations, by habits, by limiting beliefs. So I think that your personal attachments that are present in the 2nd house, they influence your transformations and your social collective life, basically. And I think that's very much where the oracle card comes in with its advice, because let me get it. Because it does speak about a continuation of the healing journey. It does speak about letting go of what has been, not perpetuating the same behavior. It speaks about exploring your spiritual practices, because they will support your personal transformation, so that you can cross this threshold that you are still at, right? It's about embracing your freedom, and that's breaking free from the devil energy, right? Trusting that a positive outcome is coming. I think as it says, humans who are stuck in patterns repeat the same stories, the same words, the same thoughts over and over, as though on a repeated loop. The soul can begin to wither within such constriction. What is needed is something new and increasingly alive, such as the life-stimulating grace of encounters with the unfamiliar. Connection to gamma waves and can enhance our capacity to embrace the unfamiliar, and through that openness of being, constructive adaptation is enhanced. Our way of being becomes more fluid, responsive, and creative. We engage with our experiences and grow positively through how we respond to what is happening. And I think that's very much it. It's about breaking free from this devil energy, basically, because it is influencing other areas of your life. Let's go house by house, and I think it will become more clear. Just as a quick note, although we are gonna get there, but the 6 of Cups here on the 12th house, it speaks exactly with the cultivation of the spiritual practice, which is the 6 of Cups can be, okay, nostalgia, reflection, but can also be healing from the past. It can also be reconnection with innocence or joy. It can also speak about connections from other lifetimes, right? Other existences. So it is bringing these energies together, in the sense that if you manage to reconnect with your inner self, with your innocence, with your inner joy, with bringing spiritual practices to anchor this discipline in your day-to-day life, then you will be able to jump, to cross the threshold that you are still at, that is still keeping you stuck. And if it is some kind of karmic pattern, then this would be a bit the turning point, the moment where, okay, now you are ready to leave all of this behind, and you really just need to shift, basically, as he said in the oracle. But let's go house by house, and it will be easier. Okay, so starting with the 1st house, where we have the 5 of Wands. The 1st house, it's all about our identity, our personal presence, confidence, how we navigate life, our appearance. And the 5 of Wands, it represents challenges, competition, internal or external conflict, right? And here we can see that it's in reverse. So this starts your reading by highlighting the internal growth over external conflict. This is about aligning with your authentic self rather than proving yourself to others. Um, it's like your soul is ready to let go of past struggles and to embrace personal freedom, right? This is basically setting the tone for transformation all across the other houses. It's about finding a smoother path to self-expression and to personal identity, basically. Um, in 2026 in 2026 you are encouraged to move past old conflicts and to step into your authentic self, and to do so with ease and with confidence that good things are coming to you and they are about to be manifested in your life, that with the inner knowing that inner harmony sets the foundation for transformation in your life, basically. Now, we already touched a little bit on the second house, but now let's deep dive a bit more. So, this is the house that speaks about finances, personal resources, values, self esteem. And here you got two cards. You got the Two of Swords, which is indecision, blocked choices, internal conflict. And you have the Devil, which is attachments, limitation, material or emotional bondage, right? So here the energy is calling you for an honest examination of attachments to money, possessions, or limiting beliefs about your self-worth, or how do you actually relate to money. You may feel stuck or maybe you are not sure on how to proceed when it comes to value-based matters. The devil is highlighting that basically old patterns of control, dependency, or fear, they need to be released so that energy can actually flow in this house, because up till then you'll be kept on a Two of Swords state. And this devil's influence, as we saw, it carries to the 8th house, where transformation and these shared resources are highlighted, and it carries as well to the 11th house, affecting social networks and your long-term goals, right, which is quite obvious, let's say. So in other words, releasing these personal attachments or improving your self-esteem, improving your relation to money, clarifying your values, all of these will free energy for a broader transformation that will ripple out, not only when it comes to inner transformation but also to your social alignment. Okay, I hope it was clear. Then we have the Queen of Cups in the 3rd house, and the 3rd house, it's all about communication, learning, local environment, and daily interactions, basically. And here the Queen of Pentacles, she represents practicality, nurturing energy, grounded problem solving, resourcefulness, right? So I think you can really rely on practical and compassionate communication in 2026, and that might take you a long way. Daily interactions, whether with your siblings or neighbors or colleagues, they are best approached with calm, with grounded wisdom, with a nurturing feeling, right? It's as if you are being encouraged to bring warmth and stability into your conversations, into your exchanges, basically, into the way you express yourself, into the way you communicate, but also in the way you think and how you think towards yourself. What from this Queen of Pentacles, which is all about stability, which understands the cycles of nature, what can you bring from these archetype mindset to your own life? How can these help you actually cross over and improve from this devil mindset when it comes to your values, to your self-esteem? Perhaps that's a good idea to deep dive into your Queen of Pentacles archetype as well. Then we have the fourth house with the Hierophant. And the fourth house speaks about home, family, emotional security, inner foundations, right? And the Hierophant, it symbolizes tradition, structure, guidance, spiritual or moral frameworks, basically. So I think that in 2026, you may find support or structure at home, or a need to seek guidance from traditional or trusted sources, let's say. It's as if your emotional foundations are being strengthening by clarity, by rituals, you know, your everyday, as it said as well, bringing these rituals, these practices to your everyday life. This will help you anchor your energy as transformation is unfolding everywhere else in your life, basically. Then we have the fifth house, which is all about creativity, romance, pleasure, self-expression, hobbies. And here we have the energy of a Knight of Pentacles, which represents diligence, persistence, patience, practical progress. This is a trustworthy knight, let's say. He's putting in the work. So you are being encouraged to approach these creative and romantic endeavors with a method to it, balancing your inspiration with persistence, rather than letting the creativity fire up and then it's gone. Try to take it step by step, try to approach a little bit every day, be moderate about it. This is basically a year for building joy and self-expression steadily, rather than seeking instant gratification and then there's nothing to back it up, basically. When it comes to romantic connections, I think that they might benefit from consistent effort and responsibility. And if it comes to hobbies or creative projects, it's more about focus and attention. It's the freedom in approach that we saw in the oracle card that will allow you for new ways to express joy and love without being trapped in by old habits, basically. Then we have the sixth house, and the sixth house, it speaks about work, health, daily routines, practical responsibilities. And for this we have Eight of Wands, which is a very fast card. It speaks about speed, progress, movement, action. So I think this year it brings fast changes or progress when it comes to your everyday life, right? So be it at work or your daily routine. I think you're gonna have to stay on your feet, adapt quickly, stay flexible. I think some projects, they might move faster than expected. Travel or communication might increase, and if communication increase, remember the archetype of the Queen of Pentacles, because that will take you far. And it's also a chance to break free from stagnant patterns and to embrace a more dynamic approach to daily life, which was also mentioned on the oracle. So embrace this flexibility, embrace this agility, embrace this skill to adapt quickly to ever-changing situations, basically. Then we have the seventh house with partnerships and close relationships. And here we have the King of Pentacles and the Moon. The King of Pentacles, it's all about okay, I'll get there. King of Pentacles, it's all about stability, responsibility, material mastery. And the Moon, it's about uncertainty, intuition, hidden dynamics, emotional fluctuations. So I think you might experience a mix of stability and uncertainty in partnerships. While some relationships will bring you reliability, others may involve emotional ambiguity or hidden dynamics. this is really a year to trust your intuition while grounding decisions in practicality, balancing rational security with emotional awareness. It's really about being in, I keep coming back to it, but being in your Queen of Pentacles archetype. And let me just see, because we have the King of Pentacles in the 7th house and the Queen of Pentacles in the 3rd house, right? So there's here this connection that shows that you can discern which partnerships to invest in and which to avoid, right? It's as if the Queen provides the internal archetype of discernment and practical intelligence, which is exactly what you need to navigate the choices that you will be facing when it comes to the 7th house themes, such as relationships, right? Because you have the Moon, which shows a bit of uncertainty. Not everything is being revealed, right? So this archetype of the Queen is quite important for you to balance not only your 3rd house, how you communicate, but also your relationships in the 7th house. So basically, this bringing this self-sufficiency combined with generosity energy and infuse your life with this, basically. I hope it's making sense. Because also with the 2nd house, let me think. Yeah, because as well with the 2nd house, it's as if the devil in the 2nd house is the external challenge, right? It's like patterns of attachment or limiting beliefs that could pull you towards financial entanglements, dependency, toxic relationships as well, entanglements that are draining, that are misaligning, right? But when you apply the discernment of the Queen, when you embody the archetypal energy of grounded wisdom, then it allows you to break free from attachments and limitations that are represented by this devil, right, in the 2nd house. And this inner wisdom then guides you towards stable and trustworthy partnerships in the 7th house. Is basically in 2026 you are being asked to trust your intelligence and intuition, to choose relationships that support your growth and release the ones that don't. And that comes back to the first sentence of the oracle, which was to leave behind what you already overcome, basically. So don't keep on getting this energy back. It's done. You do have a choice. You can rely on your inner wisdom and your inner intuition, and you can choose someone who's actually a perfect match for you. Okay. Got a bit sidetracked, but I hope it was clear when it comes to the 7th house. And how you can better navigate those energies, basically. Okay, coming back to the 8th house, where we have again 2 very important major arcana cards. Okay, so as we said in the beginning of the video, the 8th house, which deals with themes such as intimacy, deep transformation, shared resources, karmic processes, right? Here we have the Emperor with structure, authority, control, long-term stability. And here we have the Magician, which is all about manifestation, personal power, skill, creative agency. So this is clearly a major transformational area in 2026 for you. And you are basically being called to integrate authority and structure and practical mastery with creative and inspired action. We do have, as we mentioned, the devil in the second house, which can signal attachment or fear-based limitations or old patterns regarding personal resources and self-worth. But we have as well a Queen of Pentacles on the third house, which provides discernment, grounded wisdom, and practical intelligence, right, which is needed to navigate these changes. So by applying the Queen's archetype, you can release the fear of attachment in shared resources, in your intimate connections, because you are rooted in your self-worth. Fear has no longer space to stay around, to linger, and you can turn this potential restriction into empowered transformation and manifestation, basically. Okay. Then moving on to the ninth house, which is all about beliefs and spirituality, expansion, higher learning, philosophy, travel. The Eight of Cups, it shows that you are leaving outdated beliefs behind. You are seeking deeper meaning and emotional detachment from what no longer serves, which is touching as well on the bigger theme that is enveloping all of your reading, basically. You are basically being encouraged to reassess your personal philosophies and spiritual beliefs, right? Your thinking patterns, to move away from old structures and to allow yourself to keep moving forward towards spiritual growth and deeper understanding. This is really a time to trust your intuition and to follow inner guidance, which is again the message that we have received in the beginning from the oracle. And just as a reminder to really bring these spiritual practices, and one of the things they mention is meditation, into your daily life, to bring this discipline, to build it in a steady way, basically, because that will lay the foundation to help you deal with this transformational energy you have here. On the 10th house, which is career, public life, reputation, you have the Eight of Swords and the Page of Wands, and this is a mixed energy in the sense that the Eight of Swords, it's mental blocks, feeling restricted or trapped, and the Page of Wands, it's curiosity, enthusiasm, inspiration, new ventures. So you may experience perceived restrictions or uncertainty when it comes to your career or public life, but you are actually being encouraged to make use of your curiosity, of your inspired action, to go for it and to experiment with things, right? If we base ourselves a bit more on the archetype of the Queen of Pentacles, we have a map laid out on how you can ground your ideas in practical action, releasing self-imposed limitations, which we could see as a bridge between the 2nd and 8th house, to pursue meaningful projects. And this encourages a balance between visionary ideas and the practical execution that you need to make them real in our 3D world, basically. And then we reach the 11th house, which is the house of community, friends, future goals, and long-term aspirations. And here we have the Chariot reversed, the Lovers reversed, and the Sun. So we have themes such as obstacles, stalled progress, loss of control, misalignment. We have challenging choices, disharmony, but we also have joy, clarity, success, positive outcomes. So the 11th house is heavily highlighted with three major arcana, showing that your social networks, your social circles, and your long-term goals, they are karmically significant in 2026. Since we saw before the link with the 2nd and the 8th house, it challenges this is somehow, so challenges in attachments and in shared resources and in your intimacy, in your self-worth, and it shows that these patterns of limitation in these areas may manifest through your friendships and your social projects, or your collective aspirations, or your long-term goals, basically. And here again, the key really would come mainly through the Queen of Pentacles archetype, which shows discernment and grounded wisdom as the key to navigate group connections, basically. And this is also reflected on relationships, of course, because everything is connected, but it's your ability to discern which ones are real and empower you and which ones drain you, right? Which ones are aligned with your true purpose and which ones are really just for the moment, basically. I think that you are being asked to bring this practical discernment and this heart-centered awareness to your social and aspirational networks, and to release relationships and group dynamics that no longer serve, and embracing those that are actually aligned with authentic purpose, basically. And finally, we have on the 12th house the Six of Cups, and the Six of Cups, it represents nostalgia, emotional reflection, but can also represent healing, inner innocence, karmic integration, affairs in the sense of themes that are connected to past existences. And the 12th house is a house of subconscious, of spiritual integration, of closure, of karma, of inner world. So the 12th house ties together the karmic lessons from the 2nd, 8th, and 11th houses. And here you have the opportunity to reflect on past attachments, transformations, long-term goals and social aspirations, and to actually integrate them fully. And the Queen of Pentacles, practical and nurturing energy, it keeps on being like a compass. It keeps on guiding you, right? And asking you to use your inner clarity. And by applying this heart-centered discernment and embracing freedom and trusting spiritual guidance, then you can release what no longer serves, and you can manifest authentic connections and align with your soul purpose. So Aquarius, I hope this has made sense to you. I kept on seeing the Queen of Pentacles as a bit the lighthouse for your 2026 year, because it was connected to different things, and it can bring that self-worth energy that is so important, and that is currently being affected by this devil energy and is being reflected outwardly as this Two of Swords, right? So it's definitely a good energy to work with. And on that note, I just want to read a few sentences from the Aurora of Gamma, because interestingly enough, Aurora is the Roman goddess of the dawn, the bringer of light and initiatrix of a new cycle or chapter in your life. She is the luminous dispeller of darkness, the flickering flame of hope in the hearts that can burn into such a radiant holy fire that even the greatest challenges do not cause the soul to turn away in fear. Her presence in a reading signifies a fresh start and the overcoming of an old cycle. And I think this is the main message for you, which is all of this that seems to be crumbling at once is actually the old cycle closing and the new one is ready to emerge, right? This is a year of release, of discernment, and of transformative growth, basically. Your personal attachments, limitations, and patterns that are in the second house influence your deep transformation in the eighth house and your karmic lessons in the 11th house, while the 12th house is actually helping you integrate and heal these experiences. And at the center of this whole journey, it emerges the Queen of Pentacles in your third house, serving as a true lighthouse, so working in harmony with the Aurora of Gamma energy. And it's showing you how to embody this grounded wisdom, this practical intelligence, this self-worth assurance, this emotional maturity, and this heart-centered discernment, right? And by embodying this archetype, you can break free from limiting attachments. You can manifest your power in the 8th house and make choices, conscient choices in the 11th house that reflect your authentic purpose, basically. And even as karmic lessons might surface, this lighthouse of the Queen of Pentacles, it reminds you to stay grounded, practical, and connected to your inner wisdom. Go for walks in nature, like take some time outside of your own head, let's say. Allow your heart to guide you towards freedom, empowerment, and soulful fulfillment. And through it all, Aquarius, trust your intuition, embrace your inspired action, and know that positive transformation is already unfolding. You are already at the threshold and you are about to start a brand new cycle, and a lot of good things are imminent and they are coming to you, right? The past is being released, and it's as if you are stepping into a brighter and aligned future. So I think you have a great year coming up for you, Aquarius. I hope you'll enjoy it. I wish you all the best, a lot of luck, a lot of success, a lot of self-love, a lot of joy and inner peace. And yeah, I wish you a lovely 2026 and have a great day as well. Bye-bye.